collecting, turn your brain that
So
side.
I've had this done to me before.
You've had
Well,
just turn it that way. Yeah, if we can.
And show you some images for a few seconds each.
Okay.
-5.
Okay. The rest of the images you'd have about 5 or 6. -6. All right.
-10. Big white space, -10.
Okay, let's go mine.
Two.
5.
3.
Or a crying baby. Or a
0. -5.
2.
+4.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you rate that one?
I think the reaction that I didn't expect to see was a child, but most of my reactions to the images that did come up were very much associating it with curves, with, if you like, perfection of the human form, but a mature human form. I think there's a correlation between the adults and the car versus the baby. I didn't really have a positive effect with the baby. With the adults, however, it was different because the design of the car itself, the sleekness, if you like, the maturity that it gave as well, and almost it's a mature sense of esteem it would give you, as opposed to a baby, which, again, like you said, is something that still has a long way to go to develop.
We conducted an experiment which was the first of its kind that looked at people's emotional response to car design, specifically the Volvo Concept Coupe, and compared that to people's emotional response to images that have been shown to produce positive or negative responses. The experiment revealed that good car design or aesthetically pleasing car design can produce powerful emotional responses which are on par with the most basic of human emotions. The experiment revealed that men's emotional response to images of aesthetically pleasing car design was much more powerful than an image of a crying baby. We found that not to be the case with women, where we found that the emotional response to the image of a crying baby was much more powerful than any image of the car.
I think in the past there's been a tendency by some automotive manufacturers to say to the consumer, here's the answer, now what was the question? I think the kind of groundbreaking design research which Volvo are carrying out is interesting because they're actually trying to get inside the consumer's subconscious mind to find out the design triggers which will actually create particular emotions and really give them the answers to questions which they're asking rather than questions which the designers and the company think they might be asking. So I think you're quite likely to see a similar response among some people to, for example, if they're looking at a baby. A baby is all curves in a sense. Looking at a beautiful man or woman, however you would define that. Again, the curve is a very important part, particularly of a woman's body. So I think we're appealing something which is very basic, very almost instinctive in us, but certainly something that operates at a very deep subconscious level. It's interesting that your survey of 2,000 consumers found that when it came to design, men were more interested in the front of the car, whereas women were more interested in the rear of the car. And I've no immediate psychological explanation for that. But certainly I think it's probably due, or possibly due, to the fact that men are more interested in how the car will appear to others when it's approaching them. What were the design characteristics which will catch people's eye and generate emotions in people who are just watching them drive? And men are very concerned about how other, particularly men, will regard the car. Whereas women are perhaps more concerned about the impression they will leave behind them. So when people are looking at the car after it's gone past them, how will they respond to that car? Will they appreciate the elegance of the car? Will they appreciate the kind of beauty and sophistication of it? So I think this is possibly one explanation about why these differences occur, although it is an area of research which certainly bears further investigation. Great designers need to bring a number of things, I think, to the party. They need to be psychologists, they need to be anthropologists, they need to have a good understanding of engineering. But I think the key to their success is intuitive design, an instinctive understanding of what the client wants and what the client will fall in love with when they're looking at the car. Now, one way of doing that is just to rely on your instincts, but I think that instinctive response has got to be informed by talking to consumers and exploring the subconscious responses of consumers, because very often their subconscious responses are much more interesting than what they will actually tell you if you ask them a direct question. I think it's very important that Volvo has chosen sort of Swedish themes almost, because I think Sweden and Scandinavia in general, but perhaps particularly Sweden, has a cachet of being somewhere where there is elegance, where there is sophistication, where there is beauty, both in the landscape and in the products created by that country. So I think that's very important, because I think a lot of people now want to have something which is sophisticated. They don't want something which just is expensive to buy, because if you've got the money, you can buy it. They want to demonstrate that they've got the money to buy, but they've also got taste. They've got a kind of a sophisticated taste. And I think sophisticated taste is very much associated with the Swedish culture. The poet John Keats said that beauty is truth, truth is beauty. And I think that's the essential of a beautiful, elegant car design. It is truthful. It appeals to our sense of veracity in life. It appeals to our sense of sophistication. And I think these are the key to true beauty. It's truthful.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the new design strategy is only an important integrated part of the entire transformation strategy. And the transformation strategy started 2 years ago when Volvo became independent. And it's part of an overall strategy based on the brand, based on the product, and by redefining ourselves to become a small, nimble, profitable, premium car manufacturer. And the design strategy in that element, given the fact that we are a premium brand, a Scandinavian premium brand, is so important.